by signing up. First you need to create the sign up activity, register to the CRM application. After successful register, log in with that credentials to this application, and then go to here these tabs, companies, and click on this companies. You will see new, click on here and then create the company. ఓకే, మళ్ళీ అర్థమవుతుందా?
Yes,
ఉన్నావా
sir.
మళ్ళీ?
No.
అర్థమవుతుంది కదా?
Yes, sir.
ఇప్పుడు ఫోన్ నెంబర్ పనిచేస్తుందా?
పనిచేస్తుంది సార్.
నాకు తర్వాత మెసేజ్ ఇవ్వు, నేను కాల్ చేస్తాను.
ఓకే సార్. ఓకే సార్.
తెలుసుగా, నా నెంబర్ తెలుసుగా నీకు?
ఎస్ సార్, తెలుసు.
ఓకే ఓకే ఓకే. సో దిస్ ఈజ్ వాట్ యూ నీడ్ టు డూ. వాట్ యూ గైస్ టు డూ? Initially create the testng project, right? Maven project, create the Maven project and convert into testng project, right? Write the test cases. So for CRM application, log into the CRM application and create the company. That is the test case. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts? Shravani, ఏమన్నా డౌట్ ఉందా దీంట్లో?
లేదు సార్.
Jeba?
No doubt, sir.
So that's it. Okay. Now let's discuss about the framework architecture. Yesterday we discussed the same thing I am going to discuss now. Right? So initially I said 3 layers. What is this? What is this layer?
Test cases.
Yes.
Test cases. What is this layer?
Project
Pages,
files and
sir.
source.
Class files, sir. Form dot.
Source.
Page object model.
Pages, right? And
పేజెస్.
pages.
Utility, sir.
And this is
Utility led.
యూటిలిటీస్.
utilities. We divided the framework like this. Okay. And what is what is the environment? Environment I am giving this one. What is the environment?
Test engine, sir.
That is testng. And what is this?
Extent reports.
Extent
Extent reports. And what is this? What is the project?
Hybrid
Maven.
automation, sir.
Maven project.
Maven project.
Okay. And we used to have some configuration files also. You can design some configuration file, because so this is one framework you created. So for example, you want to execute these test cases in one environment, or you want to design your you want to run the test cases on Chrome. So where do you set up those things? There is a config file would be there. In the config file you need to mention, okay, a browser equals to Chrome, right here. When you say browser equals to Chrome, this execution framework engine, what will do, all the test cases, it will read the configuration it will read the configuration from here. What is the driver, what is the driver name I need? The driver sorry, what is the browser I want to execute? That browser, it will read from the config here, right? It will read from here and it will execute, it will open that browser, Chrome browser. So tomorrow I want to execute the test cases on Firefox browser. Do I need to change the code? No. So the code
No,
is configuration is here. configuration file. Browser type equals to Firefox. So here in the config file you have that browser type equals to Firefox. So what you need to do, you just need to read that browser type. Here it is Firefox. So just you have the driver utility. The driver utility based on this type, the driver utility will create the driver instance. Okay, Firefox driver it will create. If the browser type is simple, so right here you are just mentioning what browser you are required, right? Where you are mentioning in the config file. So my driver utility, so one of my utility is here. What is my first utility?
Web driver utility.
Driver
Driver.
utility. Okay, this is my driver utility.
ఏదో ఆపిల్ నిద్రపోయిందండి
ఇప్పుడు ఎందుకంట
ఆపిల్ 10ంటికి కదా.
Okay, driver utility. So what is the responsibility of driver utility? What is the responsibility of driver utility? Anyone in any guess?
Interface.
Read the
It's an
driver.
interface.
Web driver only, but what is the responsibility? Why we are need?
To
Shravani.
direct to class.
Shravani, tell me why we need the driver utility, Shravani?
Sir,
Hmm.
directly Selenium driver
Hmm. Hmm.
సో మనం యూజ్ చేయలేం కదా సార్.
సో మనం టెస్ట్ కేసులు ఒక పేజ్తో ఇంటరాక్ట్ కావాలంటే ఏం కావాలి? ఐ వాంట్ టు
డ్రైవర్
ఇంటరాక్ట్. ఏం కావాలి? డ్రైవర్ కావాలి కదా. సెలీనియం వెబ్ డ్రైవర్ ఈక్వల్స్ టు న్యూ ఆఫ్ క్రోమ్ డ్రైవర్. ఇఫ్ యువర్ బ్రౌజర్ టైప్ ఈక్వల్స్ టు క్రోమ్ అయితే ఇట్ విల్ క్రియేట్ ఏ క్రోమ్ డ్రైవర్. ఇఫ్ ద బ్రౌజర్ టైప్ ఈక్వల్స్ టు ఫైర్ఫాక్స్ అయితే వెబ్ డ్రైవర్ ఈక్వల్స్ టు న్యూ ఆఫ్ ఫైర్ఫాక్స్ డ్రైవర్. If the driver equals to, if the browser type equals to IE, then the web driver equals to new of IE driver, like that. What is the responsibility of your driver utility? It will create the driver based on the requirement. From where you are getting the requirement? From config file. Okay, here all very simple file would be there. It is plain text file, properties file, right? In that you just you need to mention browser equals to Chrome, right? So this guy, what it will do? This guy will come this side and this side, communicate with this guy, okay, and read this property. What he wants? He wants browser type equals to Selenium. So driver utility is one class file. Okay, let's see. Do I have the driver utility in my NSRC main under utilities, driver factory. What I am doing here? Geekhook driver or something they mentioned, right? IE driver. So how do you decide? Based on the driver manager. Read the parameter. is somewhat complicated. So on the base page, driver manager get driver function is there. And it is getting the driver. Okay. So instead of that, we can simply, what we can do, we can create our we can create the driver factory in separate approach also. I'll tell that. Driver utility is one of the utility. Here what we are doing, start the browser. When we are saying start browser, so I am passing the browser type. Okay, my browser type equals to, from how I am getting when I am trying to call this start browser function. At the time I am passing the browser type from the configuration file. Okay, the browser type is equals to, for example, Firefox. Normally what is our browser type? Chrome, right?
Chrome.
When it is Chrome, this option you know, right? Just you need to apply the switch case, right? So in the switch case, how to write the syntax? Switch one browser type, whatever the type it is there, the browser type, and browser type equals to case equals to Firefox. Put the double colon, and whatever the code this code you know, right? How to create the driver, right? Like that you need to create the driver. So what is the responsibility of driver utility? So if you are passing the parameter is Chrome, it will come to this particular case. Okay, creation of the Chrome driver instance, and it will return that browser, Chrome browser. See, browser equals to new of Chrome driver. It will get we will get the Chrome browser. So that is the main responsibility of the driver utility. Okay, so configuration file, for that purpose, on the fly, if you want to change, okay, now I want to execute the test cases in Firefox driver. What I need to do, you just change here in the config file, instead of browser equals to Chrome, you just need to change Firefox. That's it. This driver utility, it will take care which browser you want to launch, because we have all options we have given to the driver utility, right? We have given all options. Now my browser type equals to Firefox. Which case it will execute? Which driver it will execute?
First one.
Firefox case it will execute, and it will give the Firefox driver. That's it. After that, what is your thing? You need to work on the test cases. That's it, right? So that is the use of driver utility, and that is the use of config file. So on the fly, so there is no need to code change here. Single line change is not required inside the framework. Just one text file is there. Config property file. I didn't use that. I just hard coded that. Instead of hard coded, what you can do? You should read the data from the config file. So config file, changing the data in config file is easy. Where is my config file?
Sir, then what is local hosting, sir? Local hosting along with this.
Hmm? Local host. Locally deploying. If you are trying to execute from local, that is local hosting. అది ఎక్కడ వచ్చింది? వేర్ యూ సీన్ దట్? If you are deploying applications locally within your system, then it is a local deployment, local host. It will come in case of normal web applications deployment. But here, why you are getting that name? Okay. So this is the config file, for example. Right? Simply here you will mention what is the browser type. Browser equals to Chrome. Right? When you mention this, I'll read this data. Simple. In my driver utility class, and my file. This is Chrome. I will open the driver instance for Chrome. I will launch the driver for Chrome. If it is Firefox, see it is simple or not, just changing here. That's it. If you change here, automatically all your test cases will be executed in your Firefox. That's it. Simple. No voice, sir. ఏం చేస్తున్నారబ్బా ఇప్పుడు దాకా? ఆన్ మ్యూట్ ఐఎమ్ టాకింగ్, యూ నో, అండ్ దట్ గై ఈజ్ ఆస్కింగ్, ఐఎమ్ గివింగ్ ఆన్సర్. Jubair is asked one question and I am giving. I thought you are able to hear me.
I thought you are on call, sir. I thought.
Okay. So why few people only join now from this group? Okay. Anyhow, I don't want. Okay. So now got the idea what is the driver utility? What is the responsibility of driver utility in one line statement Java?
Sir, it will start the drivers of whatever browsers you want. It will start the driver.
You need the driver instance, right? You need the driver or not to work with Selenium,
Yes, sir.
right? If you want to work on Chrome browser, you need the Chrome driver. If you want to work on Firefox driver, you need the Firefox driver. You want to work on Edge, you need the Edge driver, right? Who will give the driver to you? The driver utility. The responsibility of driver utility is to give the correct driver based on the browser type. Where is that browser type? In the config file. Okay, so that is the thing. Now come to point. So we are using TestNG project, and what is this? Okay, I will write down, otherwise this is the TestNG project. This is Maven project. This is TestNG automation framework, and this is Maven build project. It is required. What is this? Config
Extend
files,
reports.
and these are extent reports. Reporting is extent reports. Okay, so this is the environment layer. Okay.
Test data is also there, no, sir?
Test data will keep outside. Test data. This is one test data where you required at the test case level only, right? So keep that is at this box. So from test case, he will pass these are the test layer. So you will pass test data here, right? Okay, this is test data. Now I asked you to write one test case. So how do you design your test cases? Now I have calendar, create the calendar, create the contacts, create the companies, create deals, task, cases, calls. These many things are there. So tell me about this design. So first, how do you require? What are the test class files according to your project? This is your project, right? Calendar. You want to create a calendar, right? Creating a calendar event. You are creating a event. So you need to fill all this data, right? So which class you required? What is the class?
Calendar.
Calendar. What is the class name? Tell me.
Event.
Event. High level generic గా చెప్పండి. Here in this class calendar test, because you are writing the test cases, right? Calendar test ikkada, right? So this is one class file. What is this class file name? What is
Calendar
the
test.
This is calendar test class. So what is another test class? And login also required, right?
Yes, sir.
Login is one class. So that's what single responsibility. You need to learn from now itself. Every page is related, one page related, one class file you should have. This is better, okay? And like that, you have one more class, you have one more class, you have one more class, you have a number of classes, okay? Login class, companies. One example I am writing. Okay, companies test. And what is other thing you are seeing? Contacts
Deals.
done.
Deals,
Contacts.
sir.
Deals. Deals test. Okay, like that. Okay.
Contacts.
Okay, contacts like that. You'll write all the class files. So in this class file, what you are going to have? What you are going to have? Huh?
Tests.
All the test cases related to how to create a company. For example, I am creating a contact. How to create a contact? Okay. How to verify that contact is there or not? After creating, for example, I created one contact. After that, you need to verify. After creation of the contact, our contact would be here. For example, if you created 10 contacts, what is your 9th contact? To see any other test cases related to contact, all test cases things should be in this contact test case class. Okay, like that you should design all your test cases. Now, but here, are you going to have any driver related functions? Driver related things? Are you going to
No,
have?
no.
No, right?
No, sir.
So, any page, actual work, where is that? Now, I want to click here. I want to click. Okay, first, what I need to do? I need to go to contacts. I need to go to this, what is this? Menu bar. And I want to click on contacts. Where I need to write that code?
Under test annotation.
For this
Other
one,
pages.
you should create under pages only. But this one you should create in one
Class
common
file.
base class or base page or something you can create, because this is common, right?
Yeah, menu page is common for all the functions.
This is common to across all the pages, right? So what I need to do first, otherwise you can keep in each and every page, right? Navigate to contacts page. How do you navigate? Click on this and you will open this, and if my task is creating a contact, you need to click here and you need to fill all this data. Where do you do this job? You should do the job in page class, right? For example, my page is where is companies, and I will create a contact. Contact test. Okay, so this. So, for example, if I am trying to work on the contact space, you should create a contacts page. What is this name? File name? What is the file name? What is the file name?
Menu.
Contact page.
Contacts page. Very good. You will have contacts page. Clear? So in this contact page, what are the things you will have? In page class, what is page class?
Functions and all elements.
First elements and second functions. So those things you will have. All elements. So first, all elements and functions. Specific to
Constructor.
specific to that particular page. You
Page.
should not have other page functions. Okay, functions in the sense, okay, what is the function? You can tell according to this page. What are the functions? One is creation of the contact. That is one function, right? Click on this button. Creation of contact is one function. So what you will do? Find this element and click on this button, and then it will open one more page. So fill all the data and save, submit. That is the contact creation. When you save, that contact should be presented in this list. So if it is presented, then you can say contact is created successfully. So that test case, that whole object you should write, whole function you should write in the page class. Contact creation is one function, and verifying the contact is created or not, you can write one more function, or within the same function you can say, right? After that, what is the function you have written here? Example, contact creation is one function. What is that function? Contact creation. is a function. That function, it is created in contact space. So what you need to do, this guy, what he needs to do, in contact test space, what you need to do, you need to create the instance for this contact space and obj dot what you need to do, obj dot, for example, object dot, that object of contact space, contact creation. And after performing that, what you need to do, assert. Okay, so it will return, if it is contact is created, it will, this contact creation will return one message. Okay, contact is created successfully, that message it will return. And here assertions, where you need to perform assertions, you need to perform the assertions in the test case level, you need to perform the assertion. Okay, got it? Assert dot r equal, what is the response it is returning, contact is created. But actually what happened, is it contact created or not? If it is created, both should be match. If it is not created, both should not match. Right? So that's how you need to do. So that is how, right? Like this, you need to explain about take one example of page class, and you need to describe what are the things you will have in the page class and what is the advantages of page class. Yesterday we discussed advantages of page class, right? So the page, what is the page object pattern, what are the advantages of page object pattern, that is the question they will ask you, right? You need to tell. Page object pattern is nothing but one single class file. For each and every page you are going to see one single class file. So for example, now I am talking to companies. I want to companies. So what you need to do? I need to create one more page class for companies related. I want to discuss about, I want to write the test cases related to deals. What do I have? I should have a deals page. Okay. What you will have in each and every page?
So elements and functions regarding to the deals page.
Okay. Now each and every page, for each and every page, is it working directly? Is it a required driver or not? To work with each and every page, what you require?
Driver.
A driver. So where we create the driver? We can have one base page class. No. Utility, it will create that utility, it will take the responsibility to create the driver. But for all my pages, I need the driver, right? Did I created the driver here? Do I have any code to create the driver or calling the driver? No, right? What I will do?
No, sir.
I will create one base page. What is this? Base page. I'll have one base page. What is my class name? Base page. Okay. So in this base page, what I can do, I can call the open the browser is one function, for example. Is one function. Inside that function, what I will do, I will call this utility. I read this config file. Okay. The config file is property name is browser equals to Chrome. So what I will do, while opening this inside this function, I will call the driver util dot open browser or something. What is the driver util? I have the utility, right? Driver util dot, since it is utility, you can call that util driver util dot get a driver. Just assume, and I am passing the parameter browser. So in the base page I have the function to open the browser, right? And that is one function, and I want to open that our application, web application, navigate to URL, open URL, such kind of thing, right? That is one thing. And I want to verify the page, every page is loaded or not properly. So verify page. This is one function. So I'll write one base page class, and all pages all pages must inherit this guy, right? Very good. Everyone is required base page. This guy required base page. This guy also required base page. This guy also required base page, right? So since once we have the driver, then only we can write the code, right? Driver dot find element, driver dot find elements, or driver dot click, element dot click, all those things when we can write? Once we have the web driver with us, right? So who is taking that web driver instance, creation of the web driver instance? Base page. From base page we are calling the driver utility. There is one utility is there. We are just calling this function, this get browser function here. Okay, na? So we are calling that guy to here, and after that we are passing the driver through inheritance, right? Open the driver. when I said open driver, I created the driver through inheritance. I just pass the driver to all these guys, right? What are the page? Because driver is important. Without driver you can't do anything in the page class, right? So that's how one driver utility responsibility. So this is the inheritance concept, right? One of the OOPS principle. What is the OOPS principle? Out of 4, what is the first one? Inheritance.
Inheritance.
So this is the example for inheritance. So all my pages require the driver, right? That the creation of the driver responsibility I shared to my base page. Base page is one class. In that base page, what code I have? Creation of the driver utility. Creation of the driver. Inside that there is a function. Open browser is one function. What I am doing? I am calling one more function. Driver utility here. So it is this driver utility is giving the, based on my parameter, this driver utility giving the driver to me, and that driver, since all these classes inherited my base page, so I am giving my driver to all these classes. Is it clear here?
Yes, sir.
So from the base page you are giving the driver to all these classes. This is one kind of design. Otherwise what we can do, we can create test ng annotations before method, before after method, there also you can do. But every architecture, it is up to you how you design your framework. Okay. So this is also one approach. So what I am doing, I am creating a base page and all the pages are extended this base page class. That's it. Then automatically everyone are getting base page. Okay. But what I am saying, it is a abstract page. Abstract page also I can say, because I have given verify page load. Page is loaded or not, I am not writing any code here. Okay. So this, at this time it would be difficult for you to understand abstract class. What is abstract class? Anybody having any idea? What is abstract
So
class?
it has got implemented and implemented methods, sir.
Right. So open browser is the implemented method, because everyone is required WebDriver. So I have implemented open browser, curly open braces, close braces. Inside that I am simply calling my driver util dot get driver function. Here get driver function is there. I am calling that get driver function, which is giving the WebDriver. Simple. But here page is loaded or not, that is each and every page individual responsibility. Right? How do you confirm that page is loaded or not? Might be by checking one particular element on that page. So that element would be is that element available at the global level or at that particular page level?
Page level, sir.
At the page level, because that element is specific to that page. So if that element is visible, I can say the page is loaded completely. So that's why I am not writing, just I am confirming, what is that? Mandate, what I can say? I am enforcing you, every page I am enforcing you, boss, you need to write, you need to verify the page is loaded completely or not first. Everyone. So I am enforcing, I am setting one practice. So everybody should follow that practice. If you are writing one page, so first whenever you are in that page, you need to confirm whether the page is loaded completely or not. Then only go ahead with other functionalities. Right? So this is the example for abstract class. I have a base page class. In that base page class, I have two responsibilities. One is the driver creation and another one is the verification of the page. So driver creation is the implemented, open browser is the function which is the implemented function, and verify page is loaded is unimplemented function. So this is the best example for abstract class, because in interviews some people they will ask you, give me example for abstract class from your automation framework or from your project. Then you should give this answer. I have a base page class. In that base page I have open browser. I have open browser is getting the driver, it is opening the browser, right, based on the browser type. That is implemented function. Unimplemented function is verify page loaded, because page loading is specific to that particular page class. So that's why I am just creating the abstract method. That abstract method must be implemented by each and every page. Since it is abstract, each and every page must implement that one. So before doing any other work, they need to check whether the page is loaded or not. Advaita, clear? Okay. So that is one of the base page class. So here you can explain inheritance. What is inheritance? Did you use the inheritance concept in your framework or not? Yes. Did you use abstract class in your framework or not? Yes. Did you use any interfaces in your framework or not? Where you use the interfaces? in your framework design? Did you use the interfaces anywhere?
ఎస్ సార్
ఎక్కడ
బేస్ పేజ్లో సార్.
బేస్ పేజ్లో ఎక్కడ యూజ్ చేసావు? అబ్స్ట్రాక్ట్ క్లాస్ యూజ్ చేసావు బేస్ పేజ్లో.
కాదు సార్,
Hmm.
వెబ్ బ్రౌజర్ ఓపెన్ చేసేది బేస్ పేజ్లోనే కదా సార్.
అవును, అది ఇంటర్ఫేసా?
ఆ వెబ్
అది-
బ్రౌజర్ అప్పుడు ఇంటర్ఫేస్.
వెబ్ బ్రౌజర్ కాదు.
That is one of the unimplemented method.
ఓపెన్ బ్రౌజర్ ఇది ఇంప్లిమెంటెడ్ మెథడ్. See,
Implement.
inside that open browser method, I am simply calling driver util dot get driver. A function I call this here. Driver utility is here. There is one function get driver. That function I am calling here. So it is implemented. Open browser is implemented, and it is a normal abstract class, not interface. WebDriver.
Wait.
WebDriver. This is code we are writing, right? See here. WebDriver is the interface. Example for interface is WebDriver. Where is my code? For example, I am writing that the driver utility. Okay, so see here, driver dot browser, right? You can say web driver. Okay. WebDriver, see, I am using WebDriver. So WebDriver is interface, right? That's what you are writing the code, right? What is your code normally? Where do you create the browser? Where is our normal project? Java Selenium example.
సిస్టమ్ డాట్ సెట్ ప్రాపర్టీ.
That is the, where is that browser path you are saying? But how do
Driver
you,
is equal to new driver. We write that.
Hmm. See this one, WebDriver equals to new of Chrome driver. Are you saying Chrome driver, or you are referring to WebDriver? You are creating the instance of
Chrome
new
driver.
Chrome driver, and you are passing the reference to WebDriver, since WebDriver is the interface, right? So if tomorrow I want Firefox driver, what I need to do? Just I need to say simply, based on the type, I just need to say Firefox driver, something, a Gilgo driver or something, right? Like this. Okay, simple. But you need to observe this. This is not changing. My instance name always driver only, referring to driver. Okay, that is the example for interfaces. WebDriver is the example for interface. All the driver classes inherited. This is also very important interview question. What are the
Sir.
interfaces?
అవును సార్, ఇప్పుడు వెబ్ డ్రైవర్ అనేది ఇంటర్ఫేస్.
Hmm.
మనం బేస్ పేజ్ లో ఓపెన్ క్రోమ్ అదే డ్రైవర్ ఓపెన్ చేసాం కదా సార్.
Hmm.
అప్పుడు మనం అక్కడ ఇంటర్ఫేస్ యూజ్ చేసినట్టు అయింది కదా.
ఎక్కడ నువ్వు ఇంటర్ఫేస్ యూజ్ చేసింది? డ్రైవర్ డాట్ యూటిల్లో.
ఓకే ఓకే సార్.
డ్రైవర్ డాట్ యూటిల్లో వాడావు నువ్వు, అంతేగాని ఇక్కడ వాడలా. ఇదేంటి?
ఓకే సార్,
ఇది
అక్కడ
జస్ట్ సింగిల్ క్లాస్.
యూటిలిటీలో ఉన్న దాన్ని మనం బేస్ పేజ్ లో కాల్ చేసుకున్నామా సార్?
అవును, సింపుల్.
ఓకే ఓకే
ఇది
అర్థమైంది.
ఈ యు ఆర్ పాసింగ్ దిస్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ టు వన్ మోర్ సపరేట్ క్లాస్, దట్ ఈస్ అ డ్రైవర్ యూటిల్ క్లాస్. So there is one function get driver. In that function you have this code. If the browser equals to Chrome, then create the driver instance like this. If the browser equals to Firefox, create the browser instance is like this, like that code you have. Simply you are calling that function, because reusable. How many, for example, what you need to do in each and every page, otherwise each and every page you need to write the code, right? Open browser, driver, web driver equals to new of Chrome driver, you need to write here, and also you need to write the same code here, web driver equals to new of Chrome driver, right? Here also you need to write web driver equals to how many places you are going to write that, right? Instead of that reusability, instead of repeating the same task, what should I do? Pass the task to some other case, other class file, and through the inheritance call that function each and every place wherever you require, right? Now I am creating the driver, opening the browser, I am creating in the base page, right? So I am just inheriting this. All classes inherited that method. So you have, how many places you have written that open browser? Only one place in the base class. Through inheritance you are reusing that function everywhere, wherever you require, right? That is the advantage of inheritance. Reusability. What is the advantage of inheritance? Reusability, right? Instead of writing the same code in each and every page, whatever the common code is there, that common code you are passing to, you are creating one separate class, and all classes are inheriting that, extending that. That's it. Okay? Now coming to other utilities, I will. What is other utility? Excel reader. I have the test data. I want to read the test data. Excel reader is there, right? I want to work with the Selenium functions. Selenium utility is there. This is Excel reader. Okay. You want to read the property files, these config files. You can have one separate class file. That's it. Every responsibility you are creating one separate class file. That's it. Simple. Okay. Only this is a simple class file. What you are passing, read that config files. You are creating one config class file. How to read that config file? To read the Excel sheet, you have one separate class, Excel reader. Read the JSON file, you have a separate class, JSON reader. So these are the utilities, right? One time you have written, wherever you want the data, you can read that. This is my framework. Okay. And finally, after completion of my framework, where you are going to execute these test cases. Test shoot I am going to execute in cloud, either browser stack, or you locally also you can execute. Okay. And tell me now whether your framework supports cross browser testing or not. Shravani, what is cross browser testing, Shravani?
సార్ ఒక డ్రైవర్ నుంచి ఇంకొక డ్రైవర్ లైక్ క్రోమ్ టు
So for example, we have 10 test cases.
Fine.
You want to execute 10 test cases in Chrome browser. You can do that. How you can do? Simply changing the config file. In the config browser equals to Chrome, all test cases can be executed in the Chrome. Okay, tomorrow the same function, same all there is no guarantee all applications will work as it is in other browsers also, right? Definitely some deviation should be there. So that's why you need to check in all browsers all test cases are working or not. So అర్థమవుతుందా? అండర్స్టాండింగ్, క్లియర్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్. సో క్రాస్ బ్రౌజర్ టెస్టింగ్ చేయాలంటే ఏం చేయాలి? సింపుల్గా కాన్ఫిగ్ ఫైల్లో బ్రౌజర్ టైప్ ఈక్వల్స్ టు బ్రౌజర్ టైప్ చేంజ్ చేస్తే బేస్డ్ ఆన్ ద బ్రౌజర్ టైప్ మీకు డ్రైవర్ వచ్చేస్తాడు. డ్రైవర్ ఒకసారి వచ్చిన తర్వాత there is no need to touch any class file or there is no need to touch any test cases. Only you need to change the driver. Here the driver is passed to all your pages. That's it. All test cases you can execute.
Sir, share the screen, sir.
Okay. So once you change the config file, just one single change in the config file, your driver utility get that config file. You are calling the browser, right? When you are calling the browser, so you are passing that browser type to driver utility. That guy, okay, based on the browser type, he will give that driver. Once you got that driver, you can all the test cases will be executed on that browser. Okay, like that. So this is the utility. So you can execute the test cases in cloud. Like where you are executing, which cloud tool you use, then you can say browser stack. I am using browser stack. I am executing the test cases in the browser stack. Okay. Why browser stack? What is the purpose of the browser stack? It will give the environment to execute all different kinds of browsers with different versions. So in all browsers you want to test. So how do you set up that? It would be very difficult, right? In your system, if you want to set up all the browsers, it would be difficult. So instead of that, playing with your system, you can play on the cloud environment. There is a browser stack is one tool is there. So there you just need to execute the test cases. So how do you start your execution? We have the Jenkins pipeline. You can say either Jenkins pipeline or Azure DevOps. So through that we can execute the test cases through the Jenkins pipeline. You can say Jenkins or Azure DevOps pipeline. So that's it about our overall automation framework. Okay.
సార్ జెన్కిన్ పైప్లైన్ అండ్ అజూర్ డెవాప్స్ గురించి కొంచెం బ్రీఫ్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయరా సార్? ఇప్పుడు
కష్టం.
అంటే నిన్న ఒక కాల్ వచ్చింది సార్, నిన్న అడిగారు నన్ను జెన్కిన్ పైప్లైన్ గురించి. అప్పుడు అది రాలేదు సార్. వాళ్ళు విల్ గెట్ బ్యాక్ టు యూ అన్నారు కానీ ఇంకా మళ్ళీ కాల్ ఏం రాలేదు. నిన్న మార్నింగ్ క్లాస్ అయిపోయిన వెంటనే ఒక కాల్ వచ్చింది సార్. అది వాళ్ళు జస్ట్ నార్మల్ గా అడిగారు, ఇంకా ఒక 2 days లో ఇంటర్వ్యూ షెడ్యూల్ చేస్తాము అన్నారు సార్.
టైం ఉందిగా
దాంట్లో.
జెన్కిన్స్ అంటే
2 days లో అన్నా కూడా చెప్పలేము కదా సార్. ఈ రోజే
వస్తే యాడ్ చేయను కాల్లో.
BDD ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్ గురించి కూడా ఏమన్నా చెప్తారా కొంచెం కుదిరితే?
ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్ నేర్చుకో. BDD చాలా ఇది మళ్ళీ అదొక పెద్ద కోర్స్.
Sir, when Git will come into picture in this, sir?
You are writing the code, right? This is whole thing is a code. Yes or no?
Yes sir.
So where do you place this code?
In Git only.
You are writing classes, right? So where is your code actually? Your code would be, where is your code? Your code would be in the Git. Every day whatever the code, single line statement you are writing, every day you need to commit the code right? Commit and push the code to Git. So whole latest code would be there in the Git, right? So as part of pipeline, what we'll do, first we will pull the code from the Git. Which branch? Master branch. Okay, as part of the pipeline, this is the task we are going to do. Where is our code, first of all? Where is our code? You don't know? Why we learn the Git?
5.
Simply to know the Git, what is the Git and what it is doing. That is the purpose we are just learning. No, right?
Maintain the code, sir.
Daily, what are the code you are writing? Every day, your responsibility, you need to push the code. Otherwise, after few days you are pushing, then somebody will push the code and that code is not with you, then you will get the conflict. It would be very big problem when you got the conflict. You need to resolve, you need to sit together, that guy and you, whoever working on parallelly. Okay, this code is required, this code is not required. You need to discuss and then you need to resolve the conflicts. So instead of that, what we need to do, every day we need to push the code to Git. So actual code is there in the Git, right? So as part of pipeline, what we will do, Jenkins pipeline, first we need to pull the code from the master branch, Git. And where we are going to execute, we need to set up that VM pool. Means VM pool in the sense where we are going to execute your, now currently where we are executing, in our Windows operating system, in our laptops, right? The same way, there is one image they will give, VM image, VM pool. Their Windows image, or you want to execute in MacBook. So those kind of those things where you are going to execute these test cases, the environment you need to mention, and then in that environment first you need to pull the code from where, from Git, right? After pulling the code, what you need to do, you need to build the project. Yes or no? The same thing, whatever the things you are doing initially, because on the in the Jenkins or Azure DevOps, it is a plain mission they will give. So when the plain mission they have given, VM image we are mentioning, right? VM pool or VM image. So when we are mentioning, they will give one virtual machine to you. So that is very clean mission. There what you need to do, first what you need to get that source code. Where is your source code? In the Git. And one particular branch, master branch or dev branch. So you need to pull the code. Okay, that is first step. After pulling the code, what you need to do? Build the solution. Right, our project is Maven, so Maven builder. We need to build the solution. After building the solution, before building the solution, what we need to do? We need to get that repos, right? Maven packages, all those things. So once we need to build that tool. Once the solution is building, then it is ready for run the test cases. To run the test cases, we need one more job, right? So these are the things should be there in the Jenkins pipeline. Okay, now. So VM image, environment, in which mission you are going to execute. After that, from where you are getting that source code, from the Git, then need to build the project. Okay, Maven build, right? Then run the task, run the test. There is another task, right? Where is your code and what is the command to run your test cases? So those things should be there in the as part of run job, right? So that is the Jenkins pipeline. And overall 4 steps you need to tell. After that, after completion of the execution, publishing reports is the fifth task. Like that you need to describe. Okay na?
ఓకే సార్
5 task ఏంటి చెప్పు.
ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ ఇమేజ్ సార్ ఫస్ట్.
విఎం ఇమేజ్.
నెక్స్ట్
ఓఎస్ ఏంటి నీకు కావాల్సిన మిషన్, ఓఎస్ దా, విండోసా, లేకపోతే మ్యాకా, లేకపోతే లైనెక్స్ మిషన్ అనేది చెప్పాలి అక్కడ. జస్ట్ అది ప్లెయిన్ యామెల్ ఫైల్ ఒకటి ఉంటుంది, యామెల్ ఫైల్లో విఎం ఇమేజ్ కోలన్ విండోస్ ఓఎస్ ఏదో చెప్పేస్తే, విండోస్ 19 ఏదో ఉండిద్ది, అది చెప్పేస్తే ఆ ఇమేజ్ ఆ వర్చువల్ మిషన్ క్రియేట్ అయ్యిద్ది. ఆ వర్చువల్ మిషన్ ఎట్లా ఉండిద్ది, ప్లెయిన్ ఉండిద్ది కదా. సో దాంట్లో ఏం చేయాలి, నీ దగ్గర కొత్త ల్యాప్టాప్ ఉంది, నీ ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఎట్లా సెటప్ చేస్తావు?
We will pull the code from Git, sir.
గిట్ సెటప్ చేసేవాళ్ళు. నార్మల్గా అయితే గిట్ క్లోన్ చేస్తావు. దీంట్లో సింపుల్గా ఒక కమాండ్ ఉండిద్ది కోడ్ తెచ్చుకోవడానికి, ఆ కమాండ్ వాడతాం. కోడ్ వచ్చేసింది, కోడ్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత ఏం చేయాలి, మ్యావన్ బిల్డ్ చేయాలి, ప్రాజెక్ట్ని బిల్డ్ చేయాలి. వన్స్ ద ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఈజ్ బిల్డ్, దెన్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద నెక్స్ట్ స్టెప్, you need to run the
Build the
test
solution.
cases. After running the test cases, what you need to do, you need to publish the reports to concerned stakeholders. Either team members కానీ లేకపోతే మేనేజర్ కానీ ఎవరికో ఒకటికి రిపోర్ట్, ఇదిగో ఇది నా ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ రిపోర్టు, ఇదిగో ఇన్ని గంటలు పట్టింది రిపోర్ట్లో ఏముంటాయి, ఓకే 250 టెస్ట్ కేసెస్ ఐ హ్యావ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూటెడ్, 250కి ఇంత టైం పట్టింది, ఇన్ని టెస్ట్ కేసులు పాస్ అయినాయి, ఇన్ని టెస్ట్ కేసులు ఫెయిల్ అయినాయి. దీస్ డీటెయిల్స్ యూ ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు హ్యావ్. అండ్ when you click on the test case name, you will get the inner details. What are the steps you executed for that particular test case. So this is the overall. Okay.